all good.
1825, Ali Saddiq, way too soon. You thought.
Like
Way
two
too
weeks
soon.
away. What's going on here?
But then we found out it almost sounded like a weird edit.
Also, you didn't need. There's no like this. This was fucking shoehorned in.
Well, hey, for someone who gets used to 3 podcasts a week and lots of time, I was resentful for that reason. But they talk about a number of things. We'll go through a couple of them.
But, sorry.
No, go.
No, go.
Oh, please go. One of you.
I was just going to say, he was on there so he could kind of plead his case about what he said the last time he was on. Was that what you were...
He got canceled from HBO because last time he was on, we all heard him say he doesn't think gay people should be parents, and we all thought,
No, shouldn't be able to adopt. That was the whole thing.
I thought it was everything. 2 late shows.
Anyways, it doesn't matter.
Because they could adopt, intervito, whatever.
He lost an HBO special because of that.
I think he had it on and it was removed.
This episode just sucked. This was him pumping his own tires for like 3 hours.
Well, this is it. But I think,
and to be like, I think Bill Cosby was the best, and then me, like, that's a super weird.
He down. I might say some racist things in this, but
you might say
maybe
some
I was thinking about.
Oh, here we go.
Going over.
This will be fun. Simon's getting ready. Simon sits up. Are you getting more of those?
Do you want one?
I wouldn't mind a little fucking pick me up. We're doing bumps of cocaine for those not
I
watching.
feel like black comedians are more competitive with comedy than other races, maybe.
You feel like black comedians are, and you think that was a racist statement? What you just said?
I don't know.
Really like
most.
Aren't you a comedian?
think-
Stop
what
walking on
What
eggshells,
was
you
the
pussy.
racist
I think-
comment you made?
I think most comedians, like Chris Stefano's, I did the special. It's out there. I hope people like it. He's saying, I think this is the best storytelling special next to Cosby ever, and I am the best ever, like, storyteller. And the only thing I have is I started to watch his special because it's on YouTube, and he mentions all. I'm a what do you say?
I also thought it was so gross and awkward when he was like, "You and I should go on tour. You and I, Joe, we go on tour." I was like, "This is getting."
To Joe. He's like,
I was like, "This is gonna get really fucking awkward," and it did.
"Who are you doing that with?" Oh, you. Yeah, not.
And then when Joe was like, "Oh, you've never done Comedy Works Denver?" I'll tell you what, I'll call her. That's something I can do. I was like, dude, that is him throwing you the nicest. Like, I am not going on tour with you that I have ever seen. I felt bad. It was this was so awkward.
Usually comics drop other people's names. Alex Siddiq drops his own name in the stories. Like, Bill Burr had me open for them. He said anything. And I wonder why he didn't reach out to Bill Burr.
When he was like, I had Ron White open for me. I was like, what is happening right now? I didn't like this episode.
Clearly, you're the Kamar in this one.
I didn't get any of that. I guess, like, I found it weird that he was on because he had just been on.
Yeah, there's that.
Well, no, I got cut off. So what I think is Joe had him on because he feels partially responsible for going down that road with Ali.
I get it.
Have him talk about that.
I understand.
It caused him a loss.
Yeah.
So you come around again. You just put out your special on YouTube. We'll get you the eyes on it, and and then also I screwed you over by having you on this. It ruined your HBO money. I'll get you another Denver Comedy Works.
And now Ali Saddiq can go on there, and which he did, and not talk about anything controversial. Just say how great you are, and that's what he did, and that's how you stay out of trouble.
But okay, yeah, that's the major synopsis. At the beginning, they talked about what makes something exclusive.
Yeah.
And it seemed like, without saying NFT, was making the case for NFTs. Like, how do you make? He was like, put something on it that only like could. Is it NFT? Is this thing you? How do you know something is the original?
Dude, did you hear about Seth Green? Speaking of NFTs,
He got his Bored Ape stolen or something.
How do you have a NFT stolen?
okay, but wait, it gets better.
So those Bored Apes, I can't believe how much they sell for. It is so bonkers.
Simon, wait till you hear the story.
Okay.
Seth Green buys.
Seth Green is
He was the voice
Robot
of
Chicken.
Robot
Yeah.
Chicken, the voice of not Stewie of Chris on Family Guy. Like
he is on Austin Powers.
he was in Entourage. Yeah, exactly.
on.
That's Seth Green.
Okay, got it.
So he buys a Bored Ape yacht, whatever the fuck they're called.
Board Yacht 8 Club,
Yeah,
whatever
sure.
the fuck it is. Yeah.
Then he develops a half animated, half real action television series around this bored ape. So this show is like, think about the three of us.
Around his bored ape.
So think about this. The three of us are here. This is a scene in the show. There's an NFT, an animated bored ape sitting beside you. It's an NFT
And
in the
he's
show.
talking and stuff.
Yeah, and he has a love life. He's dating a real woman.
Okay.
The point is, he's about to release this show, and someone steals this bored ape, which means that he no longer has the rights to said bored ape.
But how does someone steal
He was minting something and thought it was a fishing.
He got
skin.
fished.
I don't know.
How does someone
I don't know.
steal your bored ape?
Well, again, if you can fish someone's computer, I believe you can just...
I think your wallet gets open to do one thing.
Simon,
but
if I get
you're
access
now
to your
exposed.
wallet, I can send whatever's in your wallet to another wallet.
Okay.
And then from there, I can send that to...
So he spent all that money on the production of this show and cannot use it because that no longer
Correct,
belongs
because
to
he
him.
no longer owns the intellectual property, because these bored apes specifically say you own all artistic rights to said bored ape.
Okay,
So any
so
commercial rights,
You could make shirts of it and sell them.
precisely, you could put them on a shoe, you could do whatever you want. You now own
That's
that.
interesting, but it's still stupid. But
Well, it's interesting until someone steals it, and then all of a sudden
the
you
fact
lose
that
your
you
IP.
Can just steal it is like, this is all supposed to be. So yeah, you can track exactly where it's going, but you can't stop people from stealing it.
Seth Green knows exactly who has it.
That's what I mean.
He's gone on Twitter and said, please, let's work something out. And this guy is just like...
This story's
is
still alive.
fucking
This story's still
nuts.
alive.
That
It
is
may have
nuts,
a good
man.
ending.
This whole world.
It's Wild Wild West. It's
The
a
world
Wild Wild
has
West
gone
news.
bonkers. It has gone absolutely bonkers. When Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, you knew you were watching like a fracture in the fucking whatever. But
Dude, people
really,
are still-
we
Simon-
are living in a weird fucking time, man.
Luna just had a fork, and people are still dumping money in that shit.
Really?
Yeah. It'll be back. It's coming back.
Oh my god.
Time will tell. I still don't think it's just going to disappear, but it seems like we're in a Wild Wild West. Because that's the other thing. You're saying how much those bored apes are. You could only buy them with Ethereum, right?
Probably. Most
So whenever
likely.
you bought it at $100,000 6 months ago,
Ethereum's now worth half
now
of
worth
that.
You can only buy
$50,000.
imaginary things with imaginary money. That's how it works.
Is that a song?
No, but fuck, it should be.
That sounded
Simon's folk
really
band,
poignant.
Tough Muffins.
No, it wasn't Tough Muttons. It was, oh my god, I can't even remember now.
In general, rule of thumb, coach is safer than first class. I thought that was an interesting thought.
Why?
Yeah, but I don't care about safety. If
The
you have a
fur- the
chance
further
to fly
plane
first
crashes.
class,
If you crash, you're all dead.
Yeah.
Nobody is
People in the
surviving.
back
So you
are
might as well
safer.
have the leg room.
Okay.
No, bullshit.
Counterpoint.
Bullshit.
Exactly what Simon
you know,
said.
When I used to fly, I've never liked flying, but I had somehow convinced myself, like, oh, I'll just fly to Europe because we're flying over the ocean. So if something goes wrong, we'll just crash into the. Nope.
way worse.
If it doesn't matter where you crash, you're dead.
No, hear me out though.
It's
if,
worse, but-
If
No, I disagree with
Simon, if you are that 1 in a million person that survives the crash, if you're in the middle of the ocean,
Yeah, I gotta
you are
survive
fucked.
the ocean.
There's rafts. You've seen a plane land on water
No, wait, hold on.
without breaking up
And
at all.
When you crash,
It had just taken off.
listen. When you crash a plane on water, it's as hard as cement. It's the same.
Not if you can
thing.
slow it down.
Okay, whatever. Are you?
If
how
you're
do you
cruising
know
at
that?
if you're cruising at 30,000 feet and something catastrophic happens,
All
dead.
edges die. You're
yes,
dead.
you're dead. That's over.
like, unless you have Sully flying that plane,
Again, he had just taken off. There's a huge difference.
But you could fly over the water, slow it down, and it can be done. Have hope.
well, you can do that over land too, Kamar. It can be done.
Yep.
Simon, I saw a video of the coast.
Sand over rocks, I'd say. Trees, even better than both.
I saw a video the Coast Guard posted the other day of they're in a Coast Guard helicopter flying over the water, and it's panned out super far, and there's nothing. Like all it is just vast ocean, and then they slowly start zooming in, and you still see nothing, and eventually they're super zoomed in, and you see a person on a raft, and you're like, your odds of getting rescued out there, of anyone seeing you, are fucking slim to none.
If you don't have
about-
the material for a flag. Or,
You think about how giant those oceans are, like just
and that's
all
why those
that
guys,
space unexplored.
80 guys on a boat in the middle of everything. How did they? You think every boat they go crazy and kill themselves, and a boat never made it anywhere. It was so crazy. The resolve they must have had to we're going to get the land. They must always have thought there's going to be gold on the other side or some carrot to keep Sanity on the boat.
There'll be women to rape and people to kill. We'll get
What
there real
do you do with
soon.
the drunken sailor?
That was a good episode of that robots on the
thought so.
ship. Yeah.
I only watched half of that. I got the first episode done and half of that one done.
The little crabs. A fake Rolex isn't worth nothing, right?
No, I bought a fake Rolex for $40.
It's got
It was
parts
worth
that are-
$40.
It's got parts and like no one made it for free.
No, it's worth something.
cannot exist.
It's worth whatever you think it's worth to trick somebody.
Yeah.
Movies,
But I do get what you're saying. It's ironic that the police would be like, we found $16 million worth of fake Rolexes. You'd be like, well, I paid like $1 a piece. Or,
Well, that's Joe's point. But I just thought he said they're worth nothing. They cannot be worth nothing. It's something. And what if they're using the same gears? It's just not made by Rolex. I don't know. I have a friend who wears all fake watches. And
funny-
he just doesn't roll in scenes where people would call him out.
And multiple ones at the same time.
No, he's not that bad.
It's funny, when my dad got busted, the news article read they found 1,600 plants with a street value of $1.6 million. And my dad was like,
Whoa.
1.6 million? He's like, what, are they fucking joking? If I was sitting on that, we wouldn't have been living there. Like, he was so pissed about
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Misrepresentation.
Well, he was like, it was 10,000 a plant was what they put it at. And he's like, obviously that's insane.
Or
I
they
wish I
weighed
was
the
getting
dirt and said
10,000 a
that was
plant.
weed. Movies and snacks. It's just a psychological thing that you want to get more.
That's
than
when
you
I knew this was unraveling, though. When he was like, I like to go to the movies. I get snacks. I eat all the snacks. I was like,
just
this
trying
is...
to rebuild his reputation.
I still hate the gays. Shouldn't get kids, but man, I do love movie snacks.
Normal guy going to the movies. I went to see Doctor Strange.
Yeah, in the theater.
Yeah, it wasn't very good at all.
Did you go to Carling? Where'd you go?
No, we went to Lansdowne.
Oh,
but
nice.
not in the
Not
VIP,
VIP,
in
yeah.
the upstairs, but the other one, terrible theater.
Yeah.
It's like
Cramped,
they put
small.
no money into
Yeah.
the chairs. Should have gone to Carling. Anyways, doesn't matter. It wasn't a very good movie. And they showed a Top Gun trailer
Yeah.
at the beginning.
Yeah.
And I swear to you, this is no lie. That trailer was like 13 minutes long.
Oh, yeah.
I don't need to see the movie. I've seen the movie. Everything except the volleyball scene. I'm not sure if there is
Everyone's
one, but
raving about it though,
Yeah,
and
I know.
obviously
stupid.
the CIA military is deeply invested in this.
Deeply invested. This is just like they were in the first one. They are getting ready to fight a war
In Taiwan?
apparently, or in the Ukraine, and they need fucking people to go over there and risk their lives. And how better to do that than to get Tom Cruise to convince you that flying a plane is cool,
Plot spoiler.
hot.
Have you seen Tom Cruise's first wife?
Yeah, she's old.
Dude, it's like you were talking about women aging worse than men. It's insane.
That's before Scientology.
Not Kelly McGillis.
No,
his first
Mimi
girlfriend.
Rogers. It's like
Oh, but she was.
She was a lot older than he was. She was like,
well, it's disastrous. If you look at him now and her now, you're like, wow.
oh, I see. Yeah, well,
You're like, what? Wow.
he's treated to like the best of everything in the
Dude,
world.
his skincare regimen must be just like,
I'm not sure he's even human.
that could be it too.
Like
Could be
maybe-
semen. He's just taking facials all the time.
Is this the
Well,
news?
it's definitely kids' blood.
Tomorrow, that was a
just
good
how
joke
they're
I had
doing
at trivia. Because the question was, who was Tom Cruise's first actress wife? And then I jokingly was like, who was the actress that first played Tom Cruise's wife? There you go. I got half a giggle out of him.
Actress who first played Tom Cruise's wife. Who was that?
Mimi Rogers. I just fucking said it.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
And it was his.
No, I
first
meant
wife.
like who played his wife, as in like it's a joke. Like in real life, he's
Oh,
gay.
I see,
Like who was?
gotcha. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a terrible
See
joke because it
how
didn't get through
explaining a
assignment.
joke
Yeah.
It's got a lot of levels
Yeah, you
to
can
it.
see. No,
It's like
it's
an
obviously a
onion.
terrible
It's
joke.
Subtle.
Fine.
It's subtle. It's not a at the room. Ali Saddiq standing. Oh, but
Speaking of
fine.
Ali
It's a terrible
Siddiq,
joke. I
did you
get
guys ever listen to his story, Mexican Wear Boots?
of course.
I still haven't.
so
no.
And
funny,
He's
eh?
convinced he's the funniest. What
Well,
I
that is a
realized-
great fucking story.
Well, watch his special. It's just a story, but every part of the story is a joke. And you look back, you could break it all out, and those could just be bits. Like he does it's a story, and once a story gets started, you want to hear where it's going, and so that's why it's like the hypnotism. And I see the beauty of storytelling. Now people are invested. He does even, like he said, who was listening to his Ari was listening to his I don't even know what you're talking about, but there's points that just got in, and you were saying something funny, whether it was what you said.
The fuck are you saying?
I'm not sure that's what.
When you see me, I'm just doing jokes. There's not. It's
Yeah,
not
I get
really
it. It's
a
not
theme
strung
to it.
together. Yeah, I
This
understand.
thing is a whole theme.
Yeah.
But every part that makes a theme is a joke unto itself that can be taken out and still do it done as a joke.
Understood that part for sure.
And when you're starting out, trying to do a story in 5 minutes is very risque because if you don't get the miniature the right way, it's like a pointless story.
You're
and
giving
you're
up
lost.
your whole set for
Exactly.
one punchline. It better be a fucking great story, man.
Even worse, you could be like, I'm 2 minutes away from the punchline, and then the light comes on. And then what? You're like, oh my god, oh my god.
Yeah, I think you finished.
I mean,
but-
you have a pretty good idea how long it should take you to tell that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying they might be like, we're fucking,
Oh,
we're
yanking
Michigan
you.
J
Yeah,
frogging
yeah,
you
yeah.
because
Well,
you're
you get
just
the God
not
mic.
doing
Thank
it.
you,
better-
ladies and gentlemen.
It's the God mic, yeah.
I can't believe people aren't in the streets freaking out about the $40 billion to Ukraine.
I mean, they don't freak out about all the fake money that goes out.
Well, but obviously enough people are influenced by the news going, it's really bad over there. I guess this has to happen. But like he said, why not give these no-bid contracts, fix Chicago, why not?
Dude, your education system sucks. Why not dump $40 billion into
Apparently,
that?
it's number one in the world.
List. Well,
According to whom?
the
America.
U.S. education system.
Yeah, okay, great.
Well, they did it on Rogan.
So stupid.
Ali
They looked it
Saddiq's
up.
Cure for the Homeless is a huge homeless center, the homeless recycling center.
He made it sound like a pyramid scheme.
The
He really
homeless
did.
Recycling center.
But it seems like you start at the top, even though you're at the bottom,
Yeah.
and then you clean up there, and then eventually you get to the point where you're now working there
Yeah.
to get on your feet, and then you get a skill or something, and then you get out the door.
I'm pretty sure these exist. And
Well, I'm sure 40 billion could put a lot of them in to play. And then people have a less excuse. I got nowhere to go. You go there and you can just flip through. Maybe it could work.
Dude.
I believe that's what that guy who's running for San Francisco wants to do.
my cousin, who lives in Toronto, was in town this week, and he was telling me that when COVID hit, the Ontario government leased out like 4 hotels in Toronto, and they are currently being occupied by homeless people. They get room service 3 times a day. The Bond Hotel, apparently, in the first month had 171 fires. It's a non-smoking hotel. It's insane. I didn't know we were doing that up here, too. Like, I know we treat our homeless pretty well, but I didn't know you were getting 3 squares and a hotel room.
I have no idea.
And that's going to this day.
Yeah.
And the government's paying
Why
for their
still
stay.
now, though?
I don't know. Well,
'Cause-
my
probably
cousin
'cause
was
they're
my cousin was
unvaccinated.
telling me, he's like, the homeless problem in Toronto is staggering, which makes sense. It's the 3rd biggest city in North America. I imagine their homeless problem is.
It can't be worse than Vancouver.
Toronto is the 3rd biggest city in North America?
That is correct. Yeah.
By
Or
area?
4th. Sorry,
By
4th.
area?
No, by population.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
I believe it's L.A.,
That makes
New
sense.
York.
Yeah. What else is bigger?
Oh, no, I think it's bigger than Chicago, too. I think it is 3. I think it's L.A., New York, unless you include Mexico, because Mexico City crushes all.
And that is in North America.
Well, okay, then fine.
Still 4th.
Yeah.
Toronto is the 4th biggest
There
city.
you go.
in North-
Yeah.
Wow, I cannot believe that. That's crazy.
It's fucking massive. Toronto is no joke. People don't understand. Like, listen, when I tell people Ottawa has 1 million people, they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I think, like, Cincinnati doesn't have 1 million people, I don't think. Cleveland probably is 1 million. Like, there's major cities in the States that don't have 1 million
Well,
people.
they just have so many cities. We don't.
They do, yeah, of course, yeah. We have 5 cities.
Joe Rogan
Really?
is a modern day Rodney Dangerfield.
I would say Johnny Carson, but I guess Rodney is. I feel like he's more than. How about this? He's like Johnny and Rodney.
Rodney was
And
actually
Mitzi.
helping people for real.
That's what I say. The Rodney,
Carson was kind of like allowing his vessel to be a conduit.
But that's what
for
But that's what Joe
He's
does
like
too.
both.
Yeah, that's what I was
no.
saying.
He's even better than both of them.
Yeah, he has bigger reach than both too.
but
Far bigger.
Dangerfield, he opened a club. His specials where I broke a lot of those guys.
What'll
And
be,
he's going to be Mitzi soon too.
what'll be nice is that his club will hopefully open the door kind of to everybody to go and make their mark. Whereas now you're kind of having to get Joe's seal of approval to get made. You know what I'm saying?
this-
Yeah, but he came
But
up with
it-
Mitzi. I think it'll remain that way.
I don't know. I think that, like you'll have more people who are. It'll be easier to get into Joe's club than it is to get on the show.
This
I
is
guess
the thing,
what I'm
though.
saying.
To become elite is not going to happen at Joe's club. At one point, they were listing off like their favorite clubs, and they listed off a bunch. The
Zanies.
most premier clubs, and that's more clubs than there are in all of Canada. Like these wicked, amazing places to play.
Whoa.
Plus, there's other A clubs they didn't mention. Then there's B clubs. Then there's C clubs. Then there's bar show. Like the opportunity there for a comic, and you have to play all those clubs before you want to be in the conversation. I think.
I agree.
You just have to. You won't be able to do it just at the comedy store or at the comedy cellar. You have to do everything in
Or
between.
at the
You
mothership.
have to. That's just another comedy cellar, and that's you have no choice. That's just the way it is. Or you become a TikTok, Instagram personality and book out your private shows. But if you want to be one of the best comics in the world, you have to play all those shows. And if you think about it, when you're starting up, you're going to do maximum 52 clubs. That's too much work, by the way. I mean, a different club every single week, 4 nights a week. I mean, a younger man may dream of doing that, but that sounds like just too daunting a task. And that's not even these A clubs. You know what I mean? It's just really not in the cards in Canada to become successful.
I was gonna say, could you do 4 sets a week in Ottawa right now if you wanted to?
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, I could. But my problem is half
But why
those
don't you?
would be 3 people in a room.
Yeah, but
There's
isn't that
no
how you
ads.
sharpen the craft?
I've done that for 10 years. It's like you got to get up, you go down there. At least if I go perform a free at the club, I'm going to get a full crowd. I'm going to get some validation. I can try a new joke. I don't. When I go to these open mics, it's like I'm almost helping them
Okay,
out.
wait. I didn't mean open mics.
make
That's
the
what I
show
meant.
better.
Can you get 4 like
Real spot.
real spots in a week in Ottawa? That's
Only-
what I meant.
Only at the
Sorry.
same place, and that then becomes a problem.
You could get that in Texas or in Austin for sure.
Come on, I meant
Still,
to tell
wanna
you.
do different places.
I bumped into someone last night. Their buddy bought Tucker's Marketplace, and it's a comedy club now in the market.
Yeah, I've spoken about it. He's a good friend of mine. He's
Okay.
a horrible friend of the club owner where I work.
Oh, that's a
Because he's
problem.
direct competition, but it's ironic because it's the exact same thing. He started his club because he thought he was getting fucked over by the big chain in Canada, and now this guy comes along, thinks he's getting stifled, fucked over, so he starts his own thing, and this guy's like, "Take the knife out of my back." It's like how soon we forget, and it's a real point of contention.
Am I allowed to ask what the club is called?
It's called the Laugh Lounge, and
He told me last night. I don't remember.
what he does is he brings all people from Toronto and around, pays them well, and then he has carte blanche and connections everywhere he goes. Like he's for sure the
Oh, he's a comedian as well.
underrated hustler in the city. Like if you ask me who the best comic is, I'd say this guy, Nick Burden. I'll give him a shout out. As my friend wouldn't want to. I don't think he's the funniest guy. He doesn't listen to this, but he is the number one hustler. Has gone from like doing it same as me for free to now owning a club, touring the world.
Oh, good
You
for him.
never
How can you
heard
even
of him,
hate on that? It's
You-
crazy.
You can't. I love.
No, I
him.
know. Yeah, I know
He-
you're not. I know.
He always asks me to play, but if I did,
You have nowhere to live.
literally, and I'm trying to.
Wow, aren't you in a
Yeah, that's a
fucking-
rock and a hard place.
I'm trying
huh?
to create a debt so big,
Yeah.
so you gotta let me do this.
You need like Epstein shit on this
And
guy.
it emasculates me because I feel like a total pussy. That like I'll play wherever I want to play.
No, you won't. No, you won't.
No,
Mr. Big
you
Talker.
won't.
He has said, "I'll put you on a show. We won't put your name on the card. Just a guest spot.
You will not
tell
do
me
that.
anytime." And I always go, "Yeah, I'll do that."
No.
But it's like, yeah, I'm a pussy. Back to Ali Saddiq. We'll talk about burying. They talked a lot about burying, like other comics. And he was saying he was with Mike Epps, I believe. And when someone asked him for a guest spot, he didn't want to give it. So he told Ali, we're going to run the 777 on him, where he comes out 7, destroys. You come out, struggle for 7, then he comes up another 7, destroys, so no one remembers who you are, and you wish you never had the guest spot, and then brings it in. Because that's how, you don't think about it when you notice it, but there's an opener where he said Ron White asked to open for him.
Yeah, I
Ron
said that. Yeah.
White. That's a cool story. If it's
Ron
true.
White.
No one's ever asked me to open for them yet.
This was one of these classic examples of like this guy was just on, and all you guys did was talk about the craft of comedy, which is
It is interesting though. I feel Ali Saddiq feels himself as to be like should be at the same level as Kevin Hart.
I don't like, and I hate that in a comedian.
But
I find
think-
it really
think it's
turns me off.
I think it's the African American thing of competitiveness. Versus I don't think that with other races of comics. And that's why this is sounding racist. But I don't think it's a pejorative thing. You're squinting your eyes at me.
You
but-
just said
no,
that's.
I just
It's so
said-
funny. You said that's why I think this is racist, but it's not a pejorative.
Well, I say there's a difference between races.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's
I listen.
You find black people to be more competitive, I think is what you're saying.
in an artistic field where I bet
Is
you.
it because there are less
no. How about
black
this?
men
How
in the
about this?
field, so they have...
How about this? It's more overt. It's happening with other races, but they just don't put it out there. They're not as braggadocious like rap or something. Like he came out there and said, I think I'm the best storyteller.
But it's a weird flex to me
In the
because
game.
in my eyes, if you were to say like who are the top 5 comedians of all
You
time,
wouldn't
3 of
think
them are
Ali
black.
Saddiq, though.
No, but forget that. I'm just saying if you want to take race in comedy, if I asked you right now who are the top 5 comedians of all time, there's a good chance if you ask most people, 3 of those guys are going to be black.
Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, Martin Lawrence, which they always give
Dave Chappelle,
Dave Chappelle.
like
But there are less black people in comedy.
I don't even know.
I don't know.
I don't know if that's true.
I bet it depends where you go, right? Like if you're in Atlanta, of course, I assume it's probably a more diverse group of
Bill
comedians.
Burr would never say, I'm the best comedian
No,
right now.
I know.
Dave
Never,
Attell
never,
would never.
no.
Ali Saddiq is saying, I'm the best
Well,
storyteller
in
right
order
now.
to be the
It's
best,
it's just a
you
difference.
have to be an egomaniac. Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, we know this.
I just
Yes
thought
and no, I
Ali
don't know.
Saddiq was here in Sour Grapes, and I didn't know why to the very end, where it sounded like he was edited in. There,
Do you think he was mad at Joe?
no,
No.
no, he just had shit happens. I was talking just, and I thought he was articulate, especially it was a thought. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying wrong. I said my thought. I don't think they should have kids. If I'm wrong, so be wrong. Let's have a discussion and find that out. But don't cancel me because I said something that you don't agree with.
Listen, we all agree the guy shouldn't be canceled for his. I don't care what his thought is. Obviously, I don't think he should be canceled, but I can understand why HBO would. I also understand HBO's decision, right?
No, he had the conversation with them even.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I can.
But he said they pulled it to avoid the potential backlash that never came. And then he said he was watching real time. And then there was Samay or Sanjay, she's a lesbian comic, talking what she thought, and it's all right. He just thought there was a double standard. We know why, though.
I got to be honest. That's got to be a big wake up call. I know it wasn't for him, but it's got to be a big wake up call when your shit gets pulled for potential controversy and there is none. No one says anything.
Yeah, you're not on the map as
That's
a,
what
as a
I'm saying. Like,
celebrity.
listen, we mentioned Dave Chappelle. I never ever once heard Dave Chappelle mention anything about him being the best until it was pretty much cemented that he was one of the best.
There you go, another guy. Richard Pryor never
No,
said he was
but
the
I mean,
best.
I think your last point is the most poignant. I think that's all you really need to say when they pull it because they're worried about what may happen and nothing happens.
Zero.
I think you got your answer.
Well, what makes Ali Siddiq interesting is when Dave Chappelle was coming up, he was in jail. Or at the same age.
Yeah.
He did 6 years in jail, and now he's making it for lost time. I hope the best for him. And he is
I hope
funny.
the best for him,
You
too.
watch it, it is good. It was just this
Listen.
has to be because what he said on the last one, Joe is trying to do right by him.
He seems like other than some of his views, he seems like a good dude, probably a great comedian. I don't wish him ill. I'm just saying, I personally, for me, I don't love over braggadocious people. I don't like people that would be like, I don't know. I grew up loving
Could
Michael
not like
Jordan, which is a
rappers.
weird
Could
disconnect.
like
but-
rappers. Yeah, it is. It's my racist observation.
Did Michael Jordan say he was
Yes,
the best?
yes.
He was
But
very competitive.
this is the thing, though,
Was
is-
he out there saying like Muhammad Ali?
You can't
I'm
beat
the
me. You
best?
can't beat me.
But hold on, Simon. This is the thing: is I
what
was
he
thinking
did.
about this too. It felt to me like at the time he didn't come off that way. It felt like only after I found, like late in the later years, you found out.
Well, I don't even remember him yelling that. When was he yelling that, Kamar?
Who was yelling?
No, on the court, he was always telling
Oh,
everyone.
everyone
Like
was
that's what
saying-
I'm saying. Yeah,
That's
He was the
different.
meanest guy.
Going to the media is what I'm saying, and saying I'm the best. That's the.
I think he let his championships do the talking in that regard. That's how I looked at it growing up.
And I don't think the spotlight of the media, it was so much more fractured. But I'm sure he said braggadocious stuff and say in a Sports Illustrated. What about his retirement? When he brought the guy that cut it from the team,
Yeah.
just just to tell him how wrong you were. He wants to talk about. We've always talked about Mike Tyson. They talk about Mike Tyson because he's having a fight. He was just promoting himself on this. God bless him. Prison stories. Because Ali has gone to prison, so he'd be able to talk to him, talk about
How
boxing.
many people wanted to fight Mike Tyson?
Just what happened or whatever. And then he tells the story about Brown, which is a great story, but it has nothing to do with anything. Just this big guy's in prison.
Just I was in prison. I knew a big guy.
So I think he's just in I tell the best story mode, and that's what you're going to get. I urge everyone to watch the special, though, because it is well done.
But I said that, too. I said I would like to know that from Mike Tyson. Like, how many people in prison tried to test you to see if they could take the king?
But
Not a lot.
if you're asked by someone who's never gone to prison,
He tells you to fuck off.
well, you ask weird questions. If you've been to prison, you know a bunch of stuff not to ask that we know, and you can just get into
Say,
small
hey,
talk
Mike,
of it.
Mexican wear boots.
I give it
And
a
they just pounce it out.
I give it a generous 2.
Oh, we're rating this?
Oh yeah, we're done.
Okay.
You have that much more on this?
Sam Kinison preaching was wild.
Oh my god, that was insane.
That's wild.
But I mean, we knew he was a preacher. Like that's well
never
documented.
Heard it, but it's like the act, but
Yeah, it is.
It
Yeah.
is.
bawling
You're
his
just
eyes
taking
out,
out, like,
crying.
Religion for fucking
Yeah.
fucking dead people.
And then he went off about Houston rap.
And there
Yeah.
you go.
And as much as I'd love to talk about rap, we're just gonna wrap this bad boy up. Like I said,
Oh.
I give it a 2.
I thought I scored him low, and he came and clear his name. I give it a 3.
I mean, I'll give it a 2.5.
Simon going right in the middle.
Yeah.
Well, guys, that is an episode. If you made it this far, thank you so much. We appreciate the shit out of you. If you're joined the Patreon already, you're even better. What do you think of that? Maybe you're willing to go one step further. We want to thank Clover and BetterHelp for sponsoring the show. You can check both of them out in the description. There will be links. And then, of course, we have some socials. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at JREE Podcast. You can follow Kamar on Instagram.
Yeah, follow us. Help our sponsors at Kabarbo Bar.
You can follow me on Instagram at Floydy, Floyd with 5 E's. You can join the YouTube if you want to watch the show or any of the extra shit we do. We've been doing some live streams lately. They're not fun. It's youtube.com/JREE Podcast. You can join the fun there. Please like and subscribe. It would help us out a great deal. Reddit, r/JREE Podcast if you want to join the conversation. And then, of course, the Patreon, where you can get some extra content and support the show. You can do so for as little as $5 a month. Head over to patreon.com/JREE Podcast. Like I said, for $5 a month, you will get the post-show. It's the show after the show where we shoot the shit, talk some non-Joe stuff, some more Joe stuff. And then you'll get an episode of This Won't Age Well every month. The show where we go back, listen to old episodes, and do the same dumb shit we do here. Guys, do you have anything to say in closing?
Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Well, I guess that's it. Have a safe week. Enjoy your weekend. And as usual,
Keep your eyes open, folks.